Good morning, Molweni, Khuyamore, Nda. By the powers vested in me, I hereby constitute this graduation ceremony of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. You may be seated.
Before we start this morning's ceremony, may I please invite you to join us in a minute of silence for private prayer and meditation. Thank you. Vice Chancellor, Dr. Prince Nebutalu, distinguished guests, our guest speaker, Ms. Sheila Gastro, members of staff, parents, friends, and most importantly, all our graduates. Good morning, Molweni, Khuyamore, dames and here. Welcome to this August occasion where we celebrate the achievement of all our graduates. This is a very special day for all of you, representing the culmination of years of study, hard work, and sacrifice. Sacrifices not only on the part of you, the graduates, but also of parents, of partners, sponsors, funders, and family members who provided financial and moral support throughout the period of study. So this ceremony represents a celebration of a collective effort of all who contributed to your achievement. This year, we will be awarding 6,819 diplomas and degrees in 12 graduation ceremonies, which are taking place on both our Cape Town and Belleville campuses. At these ceremonies, we will be awarding 73 master's degrees and 16 doctoral degrees. Today, we will be conferring qualification on candidates in the two faculties, namely the Faculty of Applied Science, as well as the Faculty of Informatics and Design, more so the PR group. Let me give more indicators about the Faculty of Applied Science. The Applied Science faculty is experiencing a significant growth in research activity and is producing about 20% of the total institutional research output, and has the following strong, renowned research niche areas. 1, the environmental toxicity and remediation, crystal engineering, radiochemistry and ion exchange chromatography, and functional food research. This functional group research has filed a number of patents, and most importantly, the PCT, or the Patent Cooperation Treaties, a number of trademarks, and has actually licensed some of the product in some countries like Canada. The faculty also is a home of the successful Agri-Food Technology Station, funded by the Technology Innovation Agency, or TIA. The faculty have consolidated its food technology program in a new state-of-the-art facility on the Belleville campus. The building also includes a modern food factory, which positions the faculty at the forefront of research and development work for industry. Let's now cast my eyes on the Faculty of Informatics and Design. This faculty is a home to one of the very strong research focus area of the institution, design for sustainability, or sustainable design, as it were. This faculty assists us in making sure that we understand design much better. According to them, design is everywhere, and that's why looking for a definition may not help you to grasp what it is. They are actually saying that it is what drew you to the last piece of furniture or car you bought. The single word design encompasses an awful lot, and that's why the understanding is almost everyone's business. The single word design encompasses an awful lot, and that's why understandable search for a single definition leads to lengthy debate, to say the least. I would also like to share some of the success stories in this faculty, particularly around the World Design Capital designation that Cape Town is actually being given. At the heart of Cape Town's bid story lies FID. At the heart of the City of Cape Town's successful bid for World Design Capital 2014 lies FID. At the heart of our Western Cape design strategy lies FID. At the heart of Design Hub or Innovation Hub lies FID. At the heart of the success of Design Development and Research Conference lies FID. At the heart of African innovation lies FID. At the heart of African Network of Designers lies FID. Thus, the FID champions global conversation in design. That's why the next president of ICSID is going to come from CPUT. Does FID also champion ideas that speak to the world? That's why FID is championing unique solutions from a unique continent. That's why FID is championing African ideas that has been exported beyond the continent. FID is having strong North-South and South-South discourse and partnership with institutions like Malmö, Lund, and a number of institutions in Finland. And of course, they are, of course, a driving force in our participation in SANOT. The Cape Peninsula University of Technology is currently the largest university in the Western Cape, with over 33,000 students, including a strong contingent of international students representing more than 70 countries across the globe. Our vision is to be at the heart of technology, education, and innovation in Africa. We believe that through technology and innovation, whether you're talking about closed or open innovation, we will be able to address critical issues relating to economic and social development, both in this region and nationally. This institution understands better that it's very important to move from innovation support to building a robust innovation ecosystem. This institution understands better that social innovation is very critical within the innovation space. It is our view that we should actually address some of the key challenges besetting the South African national system of innovation, and that we can achieve by addressing the regional and sectoral system of innovation by ensuring them they are very strong to anchor the national system of innovation. As alumni of this institution, we hope that you will also commit to this vision, a vision of making a giant leap from a good to a great university, a vision of turning CPUT into a world-class university, a vision of making CPUT a model UOT, a vision of embracing student centricity. Many of you will go on to occupy influential positions in commerce, in industry, and in the public sector, but we sincerely hope that you will not forget the communities from which you come. We hope that you will use your special skills and your influence to put something back into those communities and to help contribute to the development. Together, we hope that you will help us realize our goal of creating futures, not only for our students, but for the broader society as well. We hope that you will continue to support this institution and that your future professional development will take place here. With the rapid pace of change and the globalization of knowledge, it will become imperative that you continue to upgrade your knowledge and skill on a regular basis. And we hope that we at Cape Peninsula University of Technology will have a role to play in your lifelong learning. We know that our alumni are our greatest ambassadors. That's why your success is so important to us. We are proud of what you have achieved thus far and sincerely hope that we have helped to place you on a trajectory that will lead you to even greater success in the future. Congratulations once again on your fine achievements. We salute you as graduates of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology and wish you continued success in everything of the best for your future endeavor. Enkosi, siyabulela, baya danki. Vice-Chancellor, it's my greatest pleasure to introduce our guest speaker this morning. Our guest speaker this morning is Ms. Sheila Gastro. She is an Executive Director of Inyatelo, the South African Institute for Advancement. I will briefly share the notes. Sheila Gastro established Inyatelo, the South African Institute for Advancement in 2002 in order to help build a vibrant democracy in South Africa with a robust, independent, and sustainable civil society. By building a strong local philanthropic movement rooted in the African cultural heritage of sharing. Sheila was Director of Fundraising at the University of Cape Town between 1998 and 2002. And prior to that, she headed up the Africa program for the Institute of Democratic Alternative of South Africa, or IDASA as it was known. During this period, she led a number of delegations of South African decision makers to the other African countries to enable the emerging South African leadership to learn from their post-colonial experience. Sheila is also the author of 5 editions of the Who is Who in South African Politics. As the driving force behind Inyatelo, she has focused on 3 key areas of work: civil society, university advancement, and the promotion of philanthropy. Her work in the philanthropy sector has gained public recognition through the annual Inyatelo Philanthropy Award, annual philanthropy symposia, and the formation of the private philanthropy cycle, a growing group of South African private philanthropists and foundations. She is currently involved in developing a long-term strategy to promote philanthropy in South Africa in line with Inyatelo's mission to build an enduring culture of giving that results in a strong and stable society and democratic South Africa. Besides philanthropy, Inyatelo's work with non-profit sector has seen thousands of individuals come through its doors for assistance, advisory services, workshops, symposia, and specific programs to build their capacity to mobilize resources. Beyond this specific work in the non-profit sector, Inyatelo has been involved in a range of programs that engage with issues that affect the enabling environment for civil society. This has included a research project into the effectiveness of South African lotteries and a program to encourage good governance in the non-profit sector that culminated in the production of the Independent Code of Governance for the non-profit sector. In addition, Inyatelo has worked with major South African universities to establish and maintain their advancement, development, and fundraising units, as well as other universities on the continent. The organization maintains websites relating to philanthropy, and of course you can actually Google that. It's www.philanthropy.org.za. Vice Chancellor, it is my great pleasure to call Ms. Sheila Gastro to address us. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. This is a very special day. All your efforts, both at school and at university, have culminated in graduation. You have shown you're committed, organized, and you have a vision. The world is now your oyster. What makes you unique is that you're part of only 15% of students who graduate in our universities each year. So a very big congratulations from me. For many of you, the next big leap is to find work. You now have the skills sought by business, commerce, and industry. That is what a University of Technology is specifically good at doing. Some of you may have decided to see the world, use your skills to obtain work in other countries, while taking the opportunity to travel, whilst others may have decided to continue studying for a higher degree or diploma. Some of you may be in a hurry to continue studying, you may be in a hurry to rush off, make money, buy a car, the latest phone, some new clothes, and perhaps even property. All of this is still part of growing up, and indeed, what I have found is we continue to grow up for the rest of our lives. All the experiences of education and how you spend your time and resources when you're relatively obligation-free will count when you suddenly find yourself taking the harder decisions about long-term commitments, such as starting a business, getting married, having children, or looking after elderly parents. What you have done at university provides you with a leg up, a framework from which you can stand in the future. I was just listening to the introduction to what I do now, and I can assure you, when I was in your seat at my first graduation, I had no idea where I was going and where the world would take me. So indeed, this is an amazing day for you, because what opens up in front of you, you may not control and you may not guess. Whilst this university has provided you with wonderful skills for the workplace, there is a world beyond studying, having fun, and working for a salary. This is the world you have to navigate for the rest of your life. How do you make decisions in that world if you don't keep yourselves informed? How do you make decisions about where you will live, who your friends are, what kind of companies you'll work for? How do you make a decision whether to seek a life where you'll make a lot of money, or where perhaps you'll choose a lifestyle where you give back to your community and make sacrifice? Do these things just happen to you, or do you play an active role in deciding how these things should take place? As adults, there are even bigger decisions that will impact on your lives. And as you take over from your parents' generation, so your obligations and your responsibilities are going to increase. You'll have to deal with political decisions, not just who to vote for, but how the country you live in should be run. You'll have to choose a government to steward this country through some very bumpy times. If you play no conscious role in your political landscape, then others will decide for you. If your economy works, how much tax you will pay, if your garbage is to be collected, if your lights and water function, if employment is created, if you can travel, if you have access to justice and you can speak your opinion. Are you going to just let others decide those things for you? During apartheid, the government controlled the minutiae of our lives, who we could marry, where we could live, where we sat on park benches, which trains and buses we could travel on, where we could be educated, and what we could read. If we don't play an active role in our own body politic, that's the degree to which we can slide. And then one day we'll wake up and say, how did that happen? So one of the big, big things for you is to keep engaged with politics, and I don't mean the big P and joining political parties, but being a watchdog to ensure the incredible rights and freedoms that you have today are sustained. So since apartheid, things have changed, but it took brave and proactive people to move us from a system of such enormous personal control of our lives to the freedom we have now. The world we live in always tends to gather power at the top, and over time it becomes increasingly difficult to ensure power is not usurped by ambitious political leaders. Your level of awareness, knowledge, and when necessary action will contribute to the maintenance of our democracy or its loss in the future. So I go back to the question, how do you inform yourself? In the world of social media, a huge amount of unfiltered information is freely available. This has value, but it also has dangers, as without proper evaluated information, we cannot discern what is true or what is false, what is manipulative and what is real. Reading and thinking remain a lifelong exercise to enable you to make the decisions you need to make. Our society is on the cusp of shifting from paper to full electronic reading mechanisms. It is easier now to read. You can download material instantly and read anywhere. However, the reality is that we are not reading. We are watching television. And we know that TV is entertainment. It's not education, and it's not necessarily informative. Can we say that we are going to make informed decisions based on television programs? The art of reading for pleasure is waning, and we're in danger of losing the kind of education that people receive through reading stories and novels. Stories and novels are full of history, ethical dilemmas, romance, science, myths, and legends. These are all part of our being, of our very, very being. Transferring knowledge is critical to the survival of a society, and as we reduce the amount of reading in our lives, so our views become less connected to the problems we need to solve, and our views become more vacuous and shallow. For example, if we look at what's trending on Twitter, it's more likely to be Brad Pitt's latest leather jacket and not the invasion of the Ukraine. The reality is that the situation in Ukraine is far more likely to affect our well-being than what Brad Pitt wears or doesn't wear. So when your house is flooded because of global warming and you don't really understand why, instead of blaming the city council, rather pick up a book that might provide you with some information on how to mitigate the problem before it's too late. We know children in South Africa aren't reading, as the international ratings regard our reading levels are rock bottom. If we are to avert a serious knowledge collapse in the future, where we could be much lower down on the economic ladder in Africa, reading, either on your Kindles, in the newspaper, on the net, or in good old books, is the only way that you'll be able to inform yourself how to make the decisions you need to make in life. Reading is a way of exercising your mind. It challenges our imagination and draws you into a thinking process that pushes the edge. How much more exciting than worrying about Justin Bieber's sunglasses? If you're reading, then the next question is, what kind of people do you want to be as you take up the responsibilities of adulthood? Do you want to be ethical or amoral? Have you thought about how to apply ethical standards in your personal lives? This is not just about our president having lots of girlfriends and building a big house on taxpayers' money. It is about you and me building a society where such a thing would be totally unacceptable. It is a society where we consider others, where we seek what is for the greater good before putting our immediate needs first. How should we behave in our relationships, and how should we engage with each other? Do you ever ask yourselves what is the right thing to do rather than what you want to do? What decision will you make if you are sitting on a selection panel and a friend applies for a job with your company but is not the best candidate but is good enough? What decision do you make if you find your flatmate has been stealing from the local supermarket? What decision do you make if you find your best friend has been cheating in his exams? What decision do you make if you know someone has bribed an official to get onto a housing list? What decision do you make if you know someone who drives without a license? Those are your moral and ethical decisions that you have to make. You'll be increasingly faced with such dilemmas as you move into the job market, which is competitive, and when you establish families that need financial and other support. Are we therefore distracted from the really important things by a desire only for material things in life? In the rush for consumables, do we forget what is really important? Our families, our friends, our health, and our morality. So again, I will ask, what kind of person do you want to be? And let's look at some specific contrasts. Will you be competitive or cooperative? Do you see everything as winner takes all? Or do you think you can achieve more by working with others? Will you be extractive or inclusive? Will you take all you can from family, friends, your employees, your clients, from the land and from the resources of this earth? Or will you take care of those around you and ensure you do no damage to the world you live in? Will you cast off or will you sustain? Do you throw away your waste, the clothes you've worn a few times, last year's cell phone, and last month's girlfriend? Or do you take care to sustain what you have, including your personal relationships? Do you only take or do you give back? Do you have expectation that the world owes you a living, that you are the victim of everybody else's success? Or do you ask yourself what you can give back to the others around you and how you can reinvest what others have invested in you? Is wealth and comfort your key objective, or is your reputation perhaps more important? Do you want to be known as a wheeler and dealer, a dodgy operator, or rather viewed with respect? What is respect then? This includes the high regard people have for another. It denotes admiration for their qualities, recognition for their achievements, and high esteem in which you are held. To be respected is an honor that has to be earned. You cannot buy respect. Will you be passive or active? We are living in a country with massive potential where pioneering innovation can take place, where there's a skills shortage which needs to be filled, where individuals can take initiative and find incredible solutions to some of our social problems. Will you be one of those people who wait for others to take the initiative, or are you going to try and push the boundaries, find the new ideas, and create the new world? Finally, look around you at the people in this room, your fellow students, your lecturers, other academics, your parents and friends. This is the community of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. This is the institution that has helped you to take the next step into adulthood. You are now alumni of this institution. In effect, you are the only constant. Vice-chancellors, faculty members, lecturers, they come and go. But you are always tied to this institution. You reflect its successes and its weaknesses. What it achieves is shown through what you will achieve. Whether it has trained and educated you properly is shown through your success. Your graduation is no doubt the result of your hard work and effort. However, it's not taken place in a vacuum. You've had the support of your parents, the guidance of your lecturers and professors, the camaraderie of your fellow students. What perhaps you haven't thought about is the invisible support from taxpayers who have heavily subsidized your studies, from staff at the university who've given thought to curriculum development, what support you need to get through to graduate, and those who've raised money on your behalf to ensure that the facilities at this institution are globally competitive. Certainly, government subsidies don't come near what is required to support you and to get you through the system. I don't know if you've ever thought of this amongst all the other thinking I've asked you to consider today, but in time, it is important for you to consider giving back to this institution as alumni supporters so that others can have the same life chances that you have now achieved. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shannon Lewis. I would just like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the graduates present here today. I share in your joy and excitement because just a few days ago I was sitting where you were sitting, and I graduated on Monday evening and received my National Diploma in Management. I was asked to perform and render item in song for you today. The song that I'll be singing is called Because We Believe, and I sincerely hope that you do enjoy it. Thank you.
Guarda faccia mattina, questo giorno che ricorderò, auseto fefa, c'è chi credente non ti arrendere. Once in every life there comes a time you walk out all alone and into the light. The moment won't last, but then we'll remember it again when we close our eyes. Like stars across the sky, tu potrai vincere, tu potrai vincere. We were born to shine, all of us here because we believe. Once in every life there comes a time
Vice Chancellor, I request you to confer diplomas and degrees on the following candidates in the Faculty of Applied Sciences.
By the authority vested in me, the diplomas and degree will be awarded to the candidates as presented to me.
Vice Chancellor, some of the candidates shall be receiving the diplomas and degrees cum laude. So I would like to read the criteria for cum laude.